Yes, we ran the intro video twice on accident. Hope you caught that on YouTube. But we're here. We made it. We made it. We made it. It's week 8. It's week 8 already. That's crazy. Crazy. Feels like just a few days ago we were talking about what the hell's going on with Cam Akers after week 1. And here we are. It's week 8. Cam Akers is still a Ram. Not playing. And I don't think he's going to get traded. Nobody wants him. But have you been following the fantasy football version of the Madden curse? It's happening. It's real. And I hate it. But I love it at the same time. So if you haven't followed, yardsperfantasy.com, we put out a weekly DFS and betting guide. Right in your inbox. It's free to sign up. Just go to yardsperfantasy.com/bets. We give out so much information. This week's guide was 35 pages worth of information. Gave you a bunch of lineups to play in GPPs and cash games. Gave you our underdog plays of the week, our college football bets, our NFL bets, all the good shit. Everything. We broke down the cash game, main slate, just everything. Everything you could possibly need. We gave you the weather for all the games, the best DK plays of the week, spreads, everything. Everything you could ever dream you could need to make the best betting and DFS plays for the week. We give that to you. Anyway, yardsperfantasy.com/bets. But we have a cover to that guide every week. And we put a different player on that guide every week. And the last 3 weeks, it's becoming a trend. Because in week 5, we put out Jamar Chase. Now Jamar Chase is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a hip injury. All right. The next week, we put out Breece Hall. And we know what happened to Breece Hall. Last week, we put out Mike Williams. He was on the cover. Well, Mike Williams is going to miss at least a month, probably more. So it's 3 weeks in a row. We lost the player that we put on the guide. I'm terrified to tell you who we put on the cover this week. It's Travis Etienne. Pray for Travis Etienne. Because if he goes down, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be on me. All my fault. I'm sorry, Travis. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to answer your questions. Week 8, start sit, fantasy football. They're already rolling in on TikTok. YouTube, get your game together. So let's just go. Let's just go. Should we play Deontay Foreman or Najee Harris? I'm going to go Najee Harris there. I guess. It's gross either way. Would you start Dobbs, non-PPR? Well, depends on your options, obviously. Gave you a nice goose egg last week. If you fell for Dobbs, I'm sorry. But we were not touting Dobbs at yards per fantasy. We had plenty of misses of our own, but not Dobbs. Najee or Devin Singletary? I think we still have to go Najee there. Devin Singletary's role is just, it's all over the place. When you have Josh Allen at quarterback, what is your incentive to give the slow, undersized running back the ball ever? And that's how the Bills play it. Pierce or Stevenson? Yeah, I think we got to go Ramondre. Ramondre is the guy in that backfield. Nice matchup against the Jets. Should have game script in his favor, but Jets have been playing well. So maybe not. Either way, he's the passing downs back, so he's not game script dependent anymore. Like Damian Harris is, or was, when he had the job. Should have started Sutton or Pittman. Oh, talk about quarterback torture. These two guys. What is it, Pittman or Sutton? They got to be close. Let me check the rankings here where I have them. See where I have these guys ranked. And they are close back to back. I have Pittman at wide receiver 18, Cortland Sutton at wide receiver 19. So I guess with slight edge to Pittman, but we don't know what we're going to get from Sam Ehlinger. Is it Ehlinger or Ehlinger? I've heard it both ways. I go Jur. It's kind of like GIF or GIF, I guess. I say GIF. I say Sam Ehlinger. I don't know. Who knows? But Sam Ehlinger is interesting. He's not a great passer. I looked back at because he was a rookie last year. So I looked back at our analysis on him from the yards per fantasy ultimate 2021 Dynasty Rookie Draft Guide. Looked at our breakdown of Sam Ehlinger. We didn't like him. The write-up was done by my guy, Nate. And he's not a fan. Not a fan of Ehlinger. But the one thing about Ehlinger is he is athletic. He's got some athleticism to him. He's got some, and Nate, in his write-up of Ehlinger coming out, he compared him to Taysom Hill. And we know Taysom Hill is not a great passer, but Taysom Hill is an athlete. Now, of course, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Ehlinger, but that's what I'm expecting is like a guy that's going to give them a little bit more of a dynamic option back there at quarterback than the statue, Matt Ryan. With a terrible offensive line, not the worst idea. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he's Taysom Hill. Eno Benjamin or James Robinson. We have to go Eno Benjamin there. James Conner is out. We don't know what James Robinson's role is going to be. He's been with the team for less than a week. He's been there for 5 days. We don't know. We don't know what he's going to do. And he's going against the Patriots who shut down Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt a few weeks back. So, yeah, definitely going not James Robinson. Swift or Sanders? I think we go to Swift. But I like them both. I think they're both top 15-ish running backs this week. Nice to have Swift back finally. Let's see. Start two between DJ Moore, Drake London, Allen Robinson, Tyler Boyd, or DeAndre Hopkins. We're starting two of those guys. I think we might be able to trust DJ Moore again, finally. I hope. All we needed is PJ Walker. PJ Walker's the solution to DJ Moore. Who would have thought? So we're going DJ Moore. Obviously, we're going Hopkins. So give me Moore and Hopkins. I think Tyler Boyd would be the third option there with no Jamar Chase. London, Mariota throws the ball like 12 times a game. What's that going to do? Allen Robinson, he had a decent game before the bye, but now they got Van Jefferson back. It's like, oh, we're excited about maybe Robinson is going to be what we thought he was going to be. And then we got Van Jefferson back who's going to definitely going to get his own role. He's going to have a role. And that's just going to hurt Robinson. So back to the talk about the DFS and betting guide, our version of the Madden curse here. I got Matt on YouTube just said if ETN goes down this week, because he's our cover boy this week, might need to lawyer up. He's not wrong. This curse, if ETN goes down, the curse is 100% real. I'm going to start putting Ronald Jones on the cover. Got another question on YouTube. Let's see. It says, flex one of these guys in a PPR league. David Montgomery, Najee Harris, Terry McLaurin, or Romeo Dobbs. Well, it was nice to see McLaurin bounce back last week. I tweeted it out like Sunday or Monday. Like, who would have thought we needed PJ Walker and Taylor Heineke to unlock DJ Moore and Terry McLaurin. Who would have thought? But here we are. So McLaurin's a decent option this week, but I'd like to see it one more time. He still has not out-targeted Curtis Samuel in any game. That was the first week. Week 7 was the first time that Curtis Samuel did not out-target Terry McLaurin, but they had the same number of targets, and then Curtis Samuel's getting the rush attempts. So Samuel's getting the rush attempts. Samuel is still the wide receiver 1 in Washington. With that said, I think we have to go David Montgomery there. So Kevin on YouTube, he says, start 5. Did you also ask this question on TikTok? Because I thought I saw this question go by on TikTok. Let me know. I was going to get to it, but it went by too fast. Start 5 between Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, Kenneth Walker, Stephon Diggs, A.J. Brown, and DeAndre Hopkins. So we got 6 players there. Who are we sitting among those guys? I mean, this has to be a tiny league, or your team is just loaded. I want to say we sit Hopkins, but I think that game could be a real nice sneaky shootout. This one's tough. Let's check the rankings for this one, because these guys are all like must plays in most situations. So I think we're starting all the running backs. I think we have to sit Hopkins. I think we have to sit Hopkins out of these guys. I mean, we don't want to sit Stevenson. We definitely don't want to sit Kenneth Walker. Can we really sit Dalvin Cook? I don't think so. A.J. Brown? Definitely not sitting Diggs. I think we have to sit Hopkins. As crazy as that sounds, and I'm sorry if he blows up on your bench, but I think you'll be fine. Your team's loaded, apparently. Amon-Ra or Ayuk? Yeah, I think we got to go Amon-Ra there. Even with Debo out. We got another one on YouTube. It says Kamara or Mostert or Ayuk. I think we have no, we're going Mostert there. Mostert's a must start this week. I want Mostert. I'm all over Mostert this week. I'm playing him in seasonal leagues. I'm playing him in dynasty leagues. I'm playing him in DFS, both cash games and GPPs. I'm taking the over on him on Underdog Fantasy, which, by the way, if you haven't tried Underdog Fantasy, I highly recommend it. I have put an article out this week, all my plays for the Pick'em contest. You can also play DFS on there. You draft a team rather than setting a lineup. Get in there, draft a team against other people. It's a really fun tournament. Use our promo code YARDSPER. Get a $100 deposit match on Underdog. That's yards per $100 deposit match. Full PPR, Eno Benjamin, Amari Cooper, Deontay Foreman, or Cortland Sutton. I'm gonna go Amari Cooper there. I think we have to go Amari. Eno Benjamin's tempting. I think we have to go Amari there. Oh, so this was a trade question before. Gotcha. So would you trade Mostert and Ayuk for Kamara? No, I would not do that. I'd rather the Mostert and Ayuk side. But it's not a terrible deal. I would say that's a fair deal. I would prefer the Mostert side. I don't think you're getting fair market value on Mostert right now because of his injury history. And that's lingering out there. And people are terrified of it, which I think is keeping his value down, which is why I touted him this week as a buy. So I'm trying to acquire Raheem Mostert. But that deal's fine. That deal's fine. If you prefer Kamara, totally cool with it. Ayuk, I'm very concerned about with the acquisition of Christian McCaffrey. I'm concerned more about Debo, but I'm concerned about everybody in that offense. McCaffrey is going to be, once he's integrated fully into that offense, which I don't think is going to take very long, he's going to be the center of everything that they do in San Francisco, which is going to pull down Debo. It's going to pull down Ayuk. It's going to pull down Kittle. I have ETN, Swift, Aaron Jones, Saquon Barkley, Hill, and Devontae. In a 10-man league. I don't know if he's just bragging about how good his team is or if he's asking a question. I don't see a question there. Anyway, nice team, bro. Should I trade Swift, Higbee, and Devontae Smith for Chubb and Andrews? Yes. Yep, I would do that. Gesicki or Pitts? Oh, isn't that so sad? Coming into the season, Gesicki or Pitts? Who would have thought that would have been a question? A legit question. I think I'm still going Pitts, but I'm not thrilled about it. Not thrilled about it. Murray or Goff? Murray. My opponent has DeAndre Hopkins. Well, okay. So it's going to offset a little bit, but you're definitely taking Kyler Murray over Jared Goff. Christian McCaffrey for Travis Etienne and Olave. I like the Etienne side. I love Olave. I love Etienne. McCaffrey's McCaffrey. It's a fair deal. I kind of like the Etienne side there. Kenneth Walker or Josh Jacobs in the flex? Yes. Can I get them both, please? I guess we have to go Josh Jacobs there. But man, that's brutal to have to keep Kenneth Walker on your bench. I have them both ranked as top 5 running backs this week. Why can't you start them both? Get them in your lineup. If they're in your flex, if Kenneth Walker and Josh Jacobs are in your flex, who's in your starting lineup? Who's your starting running backs? If those guys are in your flex, better be like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry or something. Start them both. Fournette or Eno Benjamin? Oh, Foreman or Eno Benjamin. I was like, wait, Fournette already played. Give me Eno. He played really well last week, which was not a surprise for me, at least. Shouldn't have been a surprise. We know what Eno is. He's Chase Edmonds, but possibly better. I have Saquon and CMC starting. Okay. Well, all right. Stud running back group, I guess. Pretty cool. But to be honest with you, I have Kenneth Walker, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon ranked ahead of McCaffrey this week. Not that McCaffrey's ranked low, but he's still working his way into that offense. But it's a win-win no matter who you play. I think you're fine. Is Odell Beckham worth picking up? I think he is, depending on your league. Depending on, do you have the roster spots for him? Then yes, it's worth it. In a smaller, a little bit more shallow leagues, then no, it's not. It's not worth it because he's not going to sign with a team until mid-November at least. He's not going to play for at least another month. Probably, it sounds like it's more likely that it's going to be mid-December rather than the initial reports that we were getting of mid-November. And then we get mid-December is when we start the fantasy playoffs. So he's just signing with the team. He's just getting onto the field, working his way into an offense as the fantasy playoffs are starting. So you're not going to trust putting him in your lineup. So if you have a deeper league, you have the roster spot, sure, but I'm not running out to stash Odell Beckham right now. Because if I had to put money on it, I would say it's not going to pay off. Wan'Dale Robinson or Drake London if DK Metcalf is out, which I believe he's going to be out. It's very strong possibility DK Metcalf is not going to play. So I do have Drake London ranked ahead, but it's close. And as I'm sitting here looking at the rankings, I might change that because while Drake London outside of last week has been getting a significant target share, it doesn't matter that much when they're throwing 12 times a game. You know, he could have a 50% target share, but he's only getting 6 targets because they're throwing 12 times. So, and Wan'Dale is becoming the wide receiver 1 in the offense. His snaps and routes skyrocketed last week from the week before. I have it here, I believe. His route participation jumped up to 78% in week 8. I think it was 34 or week 7. I think it was 34% in week 6. I expect that to continue to climb. They want to get him the football. And now they're without Dan Bellinger as well. So that's more opportunities underneath and in the middle of the field where Wan'Dale is thriving. So I might change the rankings. I think I'd go Wan'Dale there. Brandon's asking, when is the trade deadline? Trade deadline is Tuesday, November 1st. So we're just a few days away from the trade deadline. You guys think anything's going to happen? Any more big deals are going to happen before the deadline? Let's talk about maybe Kamara to the Eagles. I don't think that's going to happen. Packers, do you think they'll get a wide receiver? Jerry Jeudy, maybe? Chase Claypool sounds like he is fairly likely to be traded. Maybe he ends up in Green Bay. That'd be interesting for sure. Very interesting. That would open up George Pickens for big time. That would be awesome for George Pickens. And I think it would be great for Chase Claypool. Get out of a terrible offense environment for him, with a rookie quarterback. Offense isn't great. The terrible offensive line. Goes to a team with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback that has zero wide receiver options. Would be nice. But then it's like, okay, well, how long is he going to take to get integrated into that offense on the same page with Aaron Rodgers? I could see Aaron Rodgers and Chase Claypool being a complete disaster together, just because Claypool doesn't seem like he's always on the same page with his quarterback. And you know how Aaron Rodgers is when he doesn't have his guys on the same page. Anyway, Geno or Carr, I got to go Geno. Let's keep going. Let's keep rolling out Geno. Roll him out. I know the Giants have been playing well, but so is Geno. Terry or Wan'Dale Robinson, I think we got to go McLaurin there. But Robinson's a good option. McLaurin gives us a better ceiling, though. Swift or CeeDee Lamb as a flex play. This is another one where I'd love to play them both. I guess we have to say Swift. I think we have to say Swift because CeeDee Lamb, yeah, he has a nice matchup against the Bears, but then the Bears aren't going to score any points against the Cowboys, which is just going to keep the passing volume down for the Cowboys offense. That's what worries me right now about CeeDee Lamb. He's getting a nice target share, but the Cowboys offense might be too good. I mean, Cowboys defense might be too good. It's keeping opponents' points down, which is de-incentivizing the Cowboys from dropping back and passing 45, 50 times a game. which of course is going to cap the ceiling of their number one wide receiver. Hopkins or Benjamin, non-PPR. Unless you think I start over Aaron Jones, that would be a no. After what we saw I guess give me Hopkins. AJ Brown or CeeDee Lamb rest of season. For the reasons I just said, I think we got to go AJ Brown, but it's really close. That's really close. Should I trade Tyler Boyd for Michael Pittman? Yes. Yeah, I would do that. Boyd or Pittman? We're going to Pittman. Start Tua or Cousins? Tua. Give me Tua. Benjamin, DJ Moore, or Michael Pittman. Pick two of them. Eno's tough. I think we got to go Eno and Pittman, but doesn't feel great. But I'm totally fine if you want to start DJ Moore over Pittman this week with that quarterback change. A lot of unknowns there in Indianapolis right now. Should I do AJ Brown and Dalvin Cook for Chase? No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not trying to trade for an injured player. Should I trade Deontay Johnson for Tony Pollard? I mean, obviously you want to start Pollard this week. Zeke's probably back next week. I'm fine with it. If you need running back, I'm fine with it. If you need running back, you keep it wide receiver. That's cool. Paris Campbell or Brian Robinson? I think we have to go Brian Robinson there. Paris Campbell I think is going to be significantly hurt by this quarterback change because what he was getting his points on volume. Volume is what was getting Paris Campbell his points. A lot of underneath passes, a lot of check downs. Now they got this running quarterback who they're not going to let drop back a million times like Matt Ryan was doing. And then when he does drop back, if he doesn't have his guys down the field, if Michael Pittman is covered down the field, he's going to take off and run rather than check it down to his underneath slot receiver. Cook or Pierce? I think we still have to go Dalvin Cook. Goff or Stafford? Yeah. I think we have to go Goff. Yeah, I have Goff ranked ahead of Stafford. That's the shootout of the week right there. Lions and Dolphins. Yeah. Could be a lot of points. A lot of fantasy points scored in that game. Between Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle just absolutely torching the Lions defense. And then on the other side, the Lions in comeback mode from snap one, playing all kinds of Lions. In DFS this week, I'm playing Khalif Raymond in some lineups. Josh Reynolds. Amon-Ra St. Brown, definitely a must play this week. Sounds like he's good to go. Yep. He did not suffer a concussion. He was taken out because of the concussion protocol, but it was reported that he did not actually have a concussion. I'm 5-2. Should I trade Jamar Chase away for AJ Brown? Worried I lose the next few weeks. I wouldn't do that straight up. It sounds like Chase, they didn't put him on IR. And IR is 4 weeks. So it sounds like they expect him to be back within the next 4 weeks. And if you're 5-2 and you can't handle losing Jamar Chase for a few weeks, I find that hard to believe. because you're not 5-2 just because of Jamar Chase. There's other options. Wide receiver, I know Jamar Chase's production itself is not replaceable, but you can find decent production from the wide receiver position. I think you'll be okay. The 6 teams on a bye next week. So your opponents are also going to be losing some of their best players next week, at least. I wouldn't worry about it too much. With that said, it's not the worst deal in the world if you're that concerned. Christian Kirk, Curtis Samuel, or Drake London. Choose two. Give me Kirk and Samuel. I can't trust Drake London in the 12 pass attempts that Marcus Mariota has given us. Just can't do it. Think we're going to get Desmond Ridder at any point this year, guys? Think we're going to get Desmond Ridder? Not that they're going to throw any more with Ridder, but Derrick Henry or Barkley rest of the season. We're going Saquon. Start one between Amon-Ra St. Brown, Michael Pittman, and Brandon Ayuk. We're going to go Amon-Ra. Thoughts on Foreman this week against Atlanta? Well, what we saw from him last week was nice. It was nice. Don't think we're going to get it again. Atlanta's, not the greatest defense, so should have some opportunities there. Chuba's out, which is going to help. But it's still the Panthers' offense. I know, we saw some nice things last week, but it's still the Panthers' offense. Let's see where I have him ranked. So I'm kind of like in the middle there on Foreman. I'm not real excited to roll out Foreman, but there's also worse options. So I got him ranked RB24, borderline RB2, RB3, low end RB2. Fine with it. A shootout sounds like no Miami defense. See, there could be a lot of points scored in that game, but you're still playing against Jared Goff, the mistake-prone Jared Goff, the sack-prone Jared Goff. So you could still get the Dolphins could give up a decent amount of points, but also give you a decent amount of points in fantasy production. Because they might get a nice pick six. They might have a fumble recovery. They might sack Jared Goff 5 times. So there's still a really nice path to fantasy points for the Miami defense. I don't ever talk about defense, but this question got me. I don't ever talk about it, but there is a path to fantasy points for the Miami defense, even if that game turns into a shootout and they give up 35 points. Trade Gabe Davis for Deebo Samuel. Yeah, I think you do that. Even though I'm not actively trying to buy Deebo right now. I put a TikTok about it this week. I talked about it on the show earlier in the week as well. Deebo, I think other than Jeff Wilson, I think Deebo Samuel is the most negatively impacted member of that 49ers offense with the addition of Christian McCaffrey. Because not only he gets a lot of his fantasy points from lining up in the backfield, taking carries, and scoring touchdowns as a runner. Why do they need to do that anymore? They have Christian McCaffrey. They have that versatile, dynamic weapon in the backfield that they were getting out of Deebo Samuel by putting him in the backfield. Now they have that with McCaffrey. And then we know what McCaffrey is in the passing game. He's an excellent underneath, check down, short route, catch and run type of player, which is what Deebo was doing. So, of course, they're going to find other ways to get Deebo the ball. Of course, obviously. But some of his fantasy points are going to be funneled to Christian McCaffrey. So that I am concerned about Debo. With that said, I still would rather have Debo Samuel over Gabe Davis rest of season. However, if I need like a 35-point week, I'd probably trust Gabe Davis to give it to me over Debo. Thoughts on Van Jefferson in the coming weeks? Van Jefferson, I think, is going to be, what the hell is going on in the YouTube chat? We got a porn bot here. Can we get rid of these? Put user in timeout, yeah, or just block them. See you later. Interesting. I totally forgot what we were going to talk about there. I lost the question. I was starting to answer it. I lost it. I don't know. Just throw it back out there. We'll get to it. Should I start Deontay Johnson? Oh, yeah. Hold on. I'll come back to that in a second. Should I start Deontay Johnson or Adam Thielen? Yeah, let's go Deontay Johnson. So his thoughts on Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson, I think, is going to be a nice relief for the Rams offense. They need somebody to be making plays down the field, to stretch the field. And Van Jefferson is going to give you that. Now, whether they're empty routes, he's just running down the field, stretching the defense, and he doesn't actually get the ball, that could happen because the Rams, they can't protect Matthew Stafford long enough for him to stand in there and hit Gabe Davis 40 yards down the field. So that's my concern. What would I say? Gabe Davis, Van Jefferson down the field. So I'm kind of up in the air in between on Van Jefferson because I think, one, he's going to help that offense, but two, they just might not be able to get on the ball in the way that he needs to get the ball. So I'm concerned there. But I am worried more about Allen Robinson because I think Van Jefferson could steal the already few targets and opportunities that Allen Robinson's getting. Swift or ETN? I'm already starting Barkley and Mostert. Well, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? We all wish we could have that group of running backs. Swift or ETN? I think we go ETN. Let's go ETN. ETN is DeAndre Swift without Jamal Williams. Do I trade Jets? Oh, I think that's supposed to be Justin Jefferson. Should I trade Justin Jefferson for Dalvin Cook, Ramondre Stevenson, and Deontay? Let's see what the trade calculator says. Oh, I don't have the trade calculator pulled up. Yeah, I'm really not actively looking to sell off Justin Jefferson. But if you're getting Cook and Stevenson, yeah, I think I was still holding Justin Jefferson. We got one on YouTube. Mark is asking, what running back could I get for A.J. Brown? That's kind of an open-ended question here. Let's see. You could probably get. You could definitely get Raheem Mostert plus, but that might be not what you're looking for. You might be able to get Nick Chubb or Josh Jacobs. Let me see here. So I stuck it into the trade calculator without anything on the other side, because the trade calculator, if you put in at yardsperfantasy.com/trade dash calculator, by the way, the most customizable redraft trade calculator in the fantasy football industry, and it is 100% free. Anyway, so if you put in on the trade calculator just a player on one side and nothing on the other side, it's going to give you some suggestions on players that are close to that player in value. So what I did is I put in AJ Brown and nothing on the other side, and similarly valued running backs. So I think I was shooting a little too high. Similarly valued running backs are Miles Sanders, Najee Harris. They got Kenneth Walker on there. He's probably a little undervalued. But yeah, I would shoot a little higher than that. Somewhere between Miles Sanders and Kenneth Walker would be where I would look if I was going to trade off AJ Brown. Foreman or Sutton at the flex this week? I think we go Foreman. I think we have to go Foreman. Sutton's been a disaster. The whole offense has been a disaster. Swift or ETN? Give me ETN. I have Swift, Mostert, and Kenneth Walker. Which two should I start? Yeah, I'm going Walker for sure. And who was the other one? Swift, Mostert, Kenneth Walker. So we're going Walker, and we're going Mostert. Do I trade Fournette straight up for either Pierce, Swift, or Walker? I mean, obviously, if you can trade Leonard Fournette for Kenneth Walker, I would do that for sure. Euchre Lockett in week 8. I would go Lockett. No DK. Assuming, I don't think DK is going to play. And I know, obviously, Debo's not going to play on the other side either, but I want Lockett there. Pick 2 between Dalvin, ETN, Eno Benjamin, and Deontay Foreman. So we're going ETN, we're going Dalvin Cook. Awesome Miami defense at Detroit analysis. Hey, thanks, man. I'm sure it'll be wrong. I think it was a good breakdown. Amari Cooper or Lockett in week 8. Yeah, I think we still got to go Lockett there. He sounds like he's good to go. He had a full practice on Thursday. I know he was limited again on Friday. But he sounds like he's good to go. I think that could be a nice boom week for Lockett this week. Should I start Darrell Henderson or Brian Robinson in the flex? I'm not a fan of either one. I do have them ranked closely. I have Robinson one spot ahead of Darrell Henderson, so I think that's where I would go. Wan'Dale Robinson or Jerry Jeudy? Yeah, we're gonna go Wan'Dale Robinson there. But the Broncos, if they are actively fielding offers and trying to trade Jerry Jeudy, I do have Jeudy ranked 2 spots ahead of Robinson. If they're actively trying to trade him, they may feature him in this game just to get up his value. That's a possibility. But even trying to feature him, I don't even know if they're capable of doing it successfully. The way that offense has been going. You think if they lose to the Jaguars, Broncos are going to fire Nathaniel Hackett. Their new owner this week had an opportunity to say that Hackett's going to be fine throughout the season. He didn't say it. So I think there's a possibility. I think they're on bye next week. If they lose to the Jaguars, They may leave Nathaniel Hackett in London. Don't even get on the plane. You're done. Find your own way home. Nate. Thoughts on Cordell Patterson in the coming weeks? I think we're getting close to about the time where his initial injury timetable gave us. But I really haven't heard a whole lot of updates. He's the only guy that we can play in Atlanta when he is healthy, because it's just been a disaster ever since he went out of the lineup, actually. Drake London's production has gone down. Kyle Pitts is just, what a disappointment he's been. The running back, the backfield is a mess. They can't, they don't pick one guy. Tua or Burrow this week. Yeah, these are two good options here. Burrow had that nice game. Tua's going against the Lions. I have them ranked back to back. I have Burrow at the QB5, Tua at the QB6. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I guess I have Burrow slightly ahead, but they're both fantastic options this week. We already talked about how the Dolphins game could turn into a shootout. Burrows without Chase. I might talk myself into changing this ranking right now. Tua over Burrow. We might do Tua. But then again, you could also see a world where Raheem Mostert scores 2 rushing touchdowns early in the game. Dolphins have a pick 6 on Jared Goff, and they're up 21-0 after the first quarter, and Tua throws the ball 25 times. There's also a path to that. But you could say the same thing about Bengals Browns too. Just flip a coin. Flip a coin on this one. I don't have a strong feeling either way on this one. I don't like to play that game, but I'm talking myself into both, and I'm talking myself out of both. Sorry, tough one. I don't like to do that, but it's just the way it is with this one. Should I bench DeAndre Swift? My running backs are Stevenson and Foreman and Mostert. So this is how I would rank those guys. I would rank them Ramondre Stevenson. No. I would rank them Raheem Mostert, Ramondre Stevenson, Swift, and Foreman. So Mostert, Stevenson, Swift, Foreman. That's how I have them ranked. So I guess to answer your question, no, you would not bench Swift. You would bench Deontay Foreman. Should I start Aaron Jones or Darrell Henderson? I'm going Aaron Jones there. Christian Kirk or Gabe Davis? Let's go Gabe Davis. Taysom Hill or Goddard? Come on now. Goddard. Should I trade Ramondre for Pittman and Brandon Cooks? No, I wouldn't do that. I want Ramondre. It's Ramondre Stevenson season. Ayuk, Boyd, or Sanders in the flex? Give me Miles Sanders. I lost Jamar Chase, Andrews, and DK Metcalf this week. Oof. Sorry, man. That one's rough. Good news is, and I don't think any of them are going to be super long-term injuries. They didn't put Jamar on the IR. Pete Carroll is still leaving the door open for DK to play this week, which is not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. But I still think he's going to miss multiple weeks. Andrews, I think, is okay. But we have to monitor that. Yeah, that's rough. Tyler Boyd or Cortland Sutton? I do have Sutton ranked ahead. So I would go Sutton, but I don't feel great about it. I may not have Boyd ranked higher enough. Should I play Jamal Williams? Well, we don't know your other options. But Swift is back. Williams fumbled last week. And after the game, Dan Campbell said, if you can't hold on to the ball, you can't play for us. So I could see Jamal Williams not getting a lot of opportunities this week. Pittman or Eno? I think we got to Eno Benjamin. Pittman is just, we don't know what's going to happen with Sam Ehlinger. We don't know what that offense is going to look like with him. They could turn into the Falcons, where they just throw the ball 15 times, which really sucks for Pittman. I traded Debo and Dalvin Cook for Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. CeeDee Lamb or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, give me CeeDee Lamb. I have him ranked 3 spots ahead of Amon-Ra, but they're both wide receiver ones this week. On YouTube, Danny says he made a trade. He traded James Robinson and Swift for Saquon Barkley. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. I don't think that's how you do it. Barkley would be the guy I would want in that deal. 100%. Easy. Smash accept. Thielen or Singletary for the flex. Give me Thielen this week. Give me Thielen. I think that's going to be another one of those shootout games. Vikings and Cardinals. Yeah. I like Thielen this week. Boyd or Foreman? I think we have to go Foreman. Judy or Josh Reynolds? Oh. I guess we have to go Judy, I guess. But I could definitely see Josh Reynolds outscoring him. Swift, Cook, Damian Pierce, and ETN. I have to bench one of these guys. Wow. Well, I'm definitely starting ETN. Let's see. I'll open up the rankings for the running backs here. These are all really good options. Probably all top 15. ETN, I have ranked RB8. Next on that list would be Dalvin Cook at RB11. And then I think it's going to be Pierce. No. Swift at RB15. Pierce at RB17. So all really good options. I guess we're benching Damian Pierce. But they're all good options this week. Ramondre, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, pick 2. Give me CeeDee Lamb and a Ramondre. But it hurts to bench Amon-Ra. I don't like it. Should I trade Damian Pierce for Keenan Allen? I have Walker, Fournette, and Eckler. I'd rather have Pierce, I think. But if you can't start him, then I guess it's fine. Although I think I'd shoot a little bit. I'd shoot for a wide receiver who hasn't missed the whole season. Should I drop Michael Thomas for kicker? I mean, I wouldn't want to. So you also have Kadarius Toney. I know Kadarius Toney went to Kansas City. Eventually, Michael Thomas is going to be back, right? I think I'd still rather have Michael Thomas over Kadarius Toney for the rest of the season. Myers, Godwin, or Kirk? Oh, Myers, Goodwin, or Kirk? Give me Jacoby Myers. Yes. Emmanuel, yes. Does Dallas? We talked about this probably about 10 minutes ago. Does Dallas not throwing the ball because of a dominant defense hurt CeeDee Lamb? Absolutely, yes. Now it's still CeeDee Lamb. He's still gonna get his. But yes, it absolutely does hurt. Because if they're de-incentivized to throw the ball, that's going to naturally hurt the wide receivers. Even CeeDee Lamb, he could have a 30% target share. But if they're only throwing 20 times, it hurts. I mean, I know they're not going to throw just 20 times, but you know what I mean. They're not going to throw 45, 50 times like some of these other offenses. And that's what we really need for him to completely unlock his ceiling. Now, of course, he's still, like I said, he's still going to get his. He's still going to be fine. But the ceiling isn't quite where we would like it to be. Knox or Taysom Hill at tight end. So I think this is right about where we draw the line of saying that Taysom Hill is an option. And literally is where we draw the line. I pulled up the rankings. I have Dawson Knox ranked one spot ahead of Taysom Hill. So I'd go Dawson Knox. But Taysom Hill is okay there. He's okay there. Just, either, I mean, I'd go Knox. But I'm kind of anti Taysom Hill. But yeah, that one's really close. All right, what is it? Almost 11 o'clock. I said I was going to do a short show today because it started about an hour later than I usually do. And we're going to be back tomorrow. Going to be back at 12 tomorrow. Go all the way up to kickoff, that last hour before kickoff. We'll do a couple more questions here. And then if I don't get to your questions, obviously you can find my rankings at yardsperfantasy.com. We have all kinds of resources there. Just download our app, Yards Per Fantasy. All my rankings are on there. We have a start-sit tool. Just go to yardsperfantasy.com/start-sit. Just plug in the two players that you're debating, and it's going to spit out exactly where I have them ranked. And also, we'll also show you where the Fantasy Pros consensus has them ranked. So you'll see my rankings, also the consensus rankings. You got to make your decision there. A trade calculator, everything you could need. All my Underdog plays. If you're on Underdog, if you haven't been on Underdog, use our promo code YARDSPER, get you a free $100 deposit match. Why wouldn't you? We'll do two more questions. Alec Pierce, Wan'Dale Moore, or Zay Jones? I think we might have to go Zay Jones there. So Alec Pierce, I have zero confidence in Alec Pierce with Sam Ehlinger at quarterback. Wan'Dale Moore, we thought his role was going to be fine when DeAndre Hopkins came back because he was playing so much in the slot. Wan'Dale Moore is a slot receiver. He's a 5'7" guy. He's a slot guy. So his role is going to be fine. DeAndre Hopkins coming back and playing on the outside. But then DeAndre Hopkins comes back and plays a ton from the slot. So that fucks us over with Wan'Dale Moore. Now, is that going to be how it's going to be every week? I don't know. But it's not a good sign. So Wan'Dale Moore could go. Yeah, Zay Jones. Zay Jones is where I would go there. Although he may get a lot of Patrick Surtain, which is a concern. Should I trade Trevor Lawrence for Geno Smith? Assuming this is a redraft question, not a dynasty question, then yes, absolutely. I would rather have Geno Smith rest of season over Trevor Lawrence. Easy. Yes, please. J-Rob or Khalil Herbert for this week? I think we have to go Herbert. We have no idea. What James Robinson's role is going to be in this offense. He's been with the team for 5 days. We have no idea what to expect there. So I have zero expectations. On top of that, he's not playing well, inefficient in Jacksonville. I know he had a couple big runs early in the season and had some touchdowns, but if you actually look at his efficiency metrics, he's not playing well. And then on top of that, he's going against the Patriots. So give me Khalil Herbert. We saw that he's still involved, even with David Montgomery back and healthy. He does have a tough matchup against Dallas, but a much more defined role, even if it's a smaller role than what we have with James Robinson right now. Now, rest of season, it could work out in Robinson's favor, but this week, definitely Herbert. Antonio Gibson or Jamal Williams. Let's go Antonio Gibson. Gibson is getting the passing game work, which is incredible. I hope he continues to play over J.D. McKissic. And they're splitting him out in the slot. He's playing at wide receiver, which is natural to him because he played wide receiver in college at Memphis. So I really am starting to like this role they are putting Antonio Gibson in. We've been begging them to throw him the ball. Get J.D. McKissic out of there. They're finally doing it. All right, one more question. Terry McLaurin or George Pickens? Let's go Terry McLaurin. And then we're going to pray for a Chase Claypool trade to Green Bay to completely unlock George Pickens. We'll ride him rest of the season. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, 12 o'clock, answering all your questions all the way up to kickoff. If I didn't get to your questions, use yardsperfantasy.com. All my rankings are there. All our tools, all my articles, bunch of articles from the team. We got podcasts available. Just go to your podcast app, search Yards Per Fantasy. We have a bunch of shows on there with myself and other analysts from Yards Per Fantasy. So check it all out. Got so much going on there. Download our app, Yards Per Fantasy. Thanks, guys.